please introduce your co-authors.
So I will make this presentation on behalf, especially for Mr. Richter, who can't be here today because he's involved again in an innovation project. In the presentation we will see some slides, a description of the way of project he's dealing with, together with an industry partner. So very, very sadly he couldn't be here today. Also Mr. Heimicke, Mr. Reiß, and Mr. Walter, the other ones you know from the previous presentation, are all colleagues of my research group on development methods and development management, innovation management, that we have at the Institute of Product Engineering Karlsruhe, at the chair of Professor Albers. It's, as you see, about the evaluation of product profiles. I will tell you why evaluation of product profiles is not that easy, but I think in the first step I have to explain a bit what do we understand under the term of a product profile. What's that? And for this purpose I've brought you an example. I think we all know that there are different life cycles, we have different product generations, we have different technologies, and of course different branches. We see here an example if we look to the task of bringing people across the Atlantic. Now what we see, we can see different things here. Of course we see the change of technology from ship to airplane. We see that there are different generations of airplanes, and we can see as well that different market groups are addressed. The ship in the beginning, of course, it was for wealthy people, but there were places as well for people who had not that much amount of money. Flying was, especially in the beginning, very, very expensive. Nowadays, a lot of people can afford a trip to New York, for example. What we see as well is that there are no ships anymore really for this purpose, but ships still exist, big ships, but they are used for another purpose. It's described here with hotel on the water. And this purpose, which we can't really see explicitly here, more implicit in form of the technical systems, that's what we describe as the product profile. It describes the need of the customers as well as the need or requirements, so to say, of the company. Of course we have, and we see that the need changes, and here it was sufficient for the people to come across the Atlantic in a couple of days. Nowadays this would not be acceptable. Of course all those companies want to make money. Those companies building those ships are not really making money anymore by producing that type of ship, but other companies are making money with that type of ship. Now the question is, how can we describe this situation of need, this product profile? In which way can we make it explicit? And even more important, how can we validate it? We have to be sure as possible, that we are on the right path of development. I think you all know the rule of 10. The earlier we can correct a mistake, the earlier or the less expensive are the costs. And how can we do that? We see here an example, we can just write it down, say, that's our product profile. Maybe from your own experience you know that just text is not that good at giving you a good picture. Furthermore, in companies, for example, if somebody is presenting it and in addition he's nervous, for example, because he has to present in front of his chief, of course, it makes it even worse. And the question was, how can we find a way to explicate product profile as a basis to validate them, and to make sure that we have a certain quality. And of course, one approach is with pictures or with videos. And the question was, how could we use that? Of course, we increase the speed of communication with pictures, but how can we bring a certain structure and comparability into this description of product profiles? And again, we couldn't investigate this question in real company projects right at the company because of the possible impact. But we have, I think, really unique research options at our institute in projects that we do in real close cooperation with companies. Two of them are the OB, it's the product development and the virtual idea laboratory. So there we are teaching on the one hand product development methods for locally distributed development teams, working with an innovation platform, for example. And the other one is AIL, the Agile Innovation Lab. In this live lab, the students get a task from an industry partner, and they use this development project that's resulting from that as the basis for the research that they do in their master thesis. And we call this setting where we have, on the one hand, product development that's quite similar to product development in companies, but on the other hand, very controlled boundaries. We call this a live lab. Kind of real product development is performed there, but we can control it in a better way, at least, as we could if we would do it directly with industry projects. There are some more details. As I said, both live labs are done with industry partners. And what we started and where we tried out the product profile videos for the first time was in 2016 in OB. We did this, as you see, with a famous car manufacturer who is located closely to us. And the videos were so successful that we used them in 2017 with another company. I don't know if you have heard of Trumpf. They are making tooling machines. And the idea is that we have, using videos, we have constant quality, which does not mean that we have the same quality in each video. That's hard to establish. But the quality is not that dependent on the person who's presenting. So we could take the videos and send them to different people in the company, and they all saw the same video. As well, constant time, as I said, it's not that dependent on the person who's presenting it. We get a higher attention, of course, and as a result of using videos as a basis, it's quite good to understand. Now, in the milestones that we had in the project, the videos were combined with 2 additional time slots. First, the video was showed, and the video was not describing a solution, but as I said, the situation of need and the potential advantage for user and the company. Then, in the second step, the students proposed first ideas to address the situation of need, and in the third step, the project partners had the opportunity to ask some questions about details. And as a result of using those videos, the common mental model for the product profile and the initial product ideas was much better. We will see the evaluation results on the upcoming slides. those are some excerpts of those videos. And another effect, of course, this is a good way of documentation. And the videos, this form of presentation, it really had a great impact. So we started with a responsible person in the company who was handling the project there and was our communication partner. But the videos they were so enthusiastic about it that they pushed it up to the executive board, and they were very pleased with it. And this triggered basically this research. But as I said, in the Agile Innovation Lab, it's slightly different, but it's as well a project from an industry partner. And there we use these videos as well, and more structured than before, because we had learned and got feedback from the use in Provil. This is the panel that we could ask in AIL. You see we asked different stakeholders in the project and evaluated 3 different dimensions. And as you see, as a result, most people agreed that the level of detail was sufficient for their understanding. It was obviously not too detailed, because that's a crucial point as well. They could understand it quite good. And this is an important aspect as well, especially, I don't know if you know Porsche in detail, but those are of course cars that are not only bought for reasonable reasons, but emotions are important as well. And it's not that easy to deliver that emotion, just for example in textual description. So, but with the videos in combination with so short personal presentation, even the emotional aspect could be transferred. So in the end, we found that this is a very efficient and effective way to present those product profiles early in the process and get a first feedback as an evaluation. We call this pitch 2.0 based on the common pitch format, and it's not only for validation evaluation, it also improves the communication between the developer and those who decide in milestones about the further direction of product development.